Hello, hello, Future Wives Club. What's up? It is your friend, your coach, Kimberly Stotzer. I'm happy to be here with you this evening. So tonight we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna do a response video. I came across this video a little bit ago, and I thought it was really interesting. And it's a video where you have like a middle-aged, kind of like your classic middle-aged pastor has been married for 20 some years. A young, like Christian music artist been married for like a year, and a rock star. But they're all believers, and they're talking about Christian dating. And it's like literally you're getting into the room with these guys. So I'm actually gonna bring on this video, kind of take some minutes to respond to it. I don't think we have time to watch the full interview, so I'm going to fast forward at a certain point, but check out the response that these guys are having. I know I only skimmed through it. I didn't watch the whole thing. So some of the response you see from me is actually going to be live and like first time. But I'm excited to get into this. I think it's important to hear from other voices. So here we go. Yeah. So let's meet our fellas. That's the dude from Corn, right? Yeah. Yeah.
So, isn't this the face for Christian dating advice?
Right there, single ladies.
I didn't even know if should Christians be dating was like a thing on this, but for everybody who can't find someone, hold on a second. He just said that more than half of all the churches are actually single, as opposed to a long time ago. Hello, somebody. There must be someone in front of you who's available and loves Jesus. I'm just saying.
About 2 decades ago, people were married. So you should.
Okay, so right off the bat, I'm gonna say I'm gonna fast forward a little bit on this because I want to get into the talk while there's still some time to talk about it. So let's go like say halfway in, jump into the conversation when it's already flowing. Here we go.
How do you find someone? Yeah. Because
How do you find someone? Okay, straight up. So my husband comes, yells into the door, "We can't hear the video." And I had no idea that y'all couldn't hear the video because I forgot to share audio. See, we're all learning and growing at this thing. So basically, here's what you missed. I can catch you up in 2 seconds. These guys, you have dude from Corn, you have this pastor, this Christian artist who's been married a year, pastor 22 years, and they're just talking about Christian dating and how like 60% of the church is single now, which is so different than it was a couple decades ago. And so there's like actually a lot of really available people in the church at this present time. And then they started literally, the lead just asked the question, so how do you find someone to date? So these Christian men are about to talk about how to find someone to date, or at least what do Christian men think about how to find someone to date. So now the audio should be straight. If it isn't, go ahead and let me know on the chats. And by the way, thanks, Dad. I see that you did try to let me know. Sorry I couldn't see it, but yeah, here we go.
Let's keep the clothing a little loose. But anyway, how do
Please,
you
ladies, please.
how do you find someone?
Yeah.
Because you made a decision to be single, and Paul talks about that, and I think that's a very honorable decision. Other people, as Paul would say, inwardly burn and should be married, and they're looking for somebody, and they're trying to have that holy relationship. How do you find somebody if you're Christian? Almost all my Christian single friends are bugging out because they're like, how do I meet somebody?
Women or men?
Oh, okay, is it different?
Well, I just wanted to see the people that were talking to you. Is
Okay,
it more women
usually
or is it more men?
No, it's a mix. It's
Really?
about right down the middle.
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods. All right, there you go.
A lot
Write
of
it down.
Christians- A lot of Christians go to Whole Foods. I see Christian women there.
I think the issue a lot
And you're
of
not even
times
looking.
Trader
with
Joe's.
trying to find someone is that what I've learned is what I learned before I got saved about dating was what I needed after I got saved about to date in the right way, or just in terms of hitting on or letting a woman know I was interested
Sure.
in her. Because I think you come in the church and it's just like, okay, everything you did in the world, stop.
Right.
And then you get in the church and you're like, well, I don't know how to talk to a woman
You're
now.
like, hey, baby, I was reading numbers and I noticed I didn't have yours.
I
See?
noticed I didn't.
But women still value charisma. They still value you letting them know
Abs.
that they're attractive. You know,
Yes.
all of those things. And so I think because we go so far left in the church, we don't know how to talk to women because it's like, well, I don't know what to say. Just let's talk. And then they're like, well, am I friend zoned or am I not? And it just gets into this weird thing because you're like, we talk about scriptures all day, but I mean, are you attracted to me? And it's like, well, I don't.
Okay, I just want to say that that is a very real thing. If there are any men watching this, yes, I feel like Christian men do not somehow, it's like they forget how to talk to women. It's like before you would flirt, you would come up, you drop a line and say something smooth, and it's like, okay, I love Jesus now. I threw away my old life, I'm in a new life, but now I don't know how to flirt. And I definitely hear a lot of women saying, like, I get approached by men in the world so much more. But when it comes to that Christian dude that shares my same, values on spirituality, they don't try to talk to me. And I feel like this is absolutely what I hear women say. So I just want to co-sign what my brother is saying right here. Okay, I'm gonna push play.
I don't know if I can say I'm attracted to you.
Friend zone.
You
Yeah,
know-
because you date as Christians and you kind of just, like what I taught my boys, be friends. Be a great friend to that lady. Treat her well, and then you'll know if it develops. But then
But then how do you turn the corner? Mm-hmm. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's
I
it.
got-
That's a great tension.
People don't know how to turn the corner. So then it's like,
Back in my day, it was easy. You do a big friend date at the movies, and you kind of do that stretch. And then all of a sudden, you just let that arm rest for a little while, and then you realize, oh, we're dating.
oh, it's real.
To me, it's like people just got to go slow, man.
I agree.
I want more Christians to really understand that God is real. He's real, and it's not about just going to church and doing
Yes.
the what do you call it? The actions.
Yes, going through the motions.
The church is telling you that this Jesus is real and that he walked the earth 2,000 years ago, but he's alive now and he comes and lives inside of you. So get to know that first.
Yeah.
Get to know that and then start dating around, And I just think that people, the Lord's trying to get them alone. That's what he did with me. He pulled me apart.
Yeah.
Set you apart, right? until like all you have really is him for a season.
Yeah.
And you start to get to know how real he is, and then he'll lead you in how to date, you know. And you
Taking
can
notes
get
over here, man.
See?
Like,
Okay, I do feel that, in that there's a lot of people who, I mean, I don't think you should wait to date forever. Like, God's not saying like just be everybody should be a monk, but there are a lot of people who haven't given themselves a moment to breathe and really get a grip on this new faith that they have found, if in fact they've truly found Jesus, and really like take care of your mental, emotional, spiritual health and be sure that you're ready. I think that's really important. So I will give it up to my brother on that point. There are a lot of people who need to like take that pause and make sure that they're the person that would be a good fit for somebody else. Um, I think, but there should be a limit on how long that pause is, because we could also keep saying that, and really the issue could be fear or lack of commitment instead of the fact that we're actually focused on anchoring ourselves spiritually or like personal growth. I'm just saying. I mean, you know.
so like I went through this period of time where I get my life back right with the Lord as a young adult.
Yeah.
I had a terrible relationship that was doing all the wrong things. Right.
Yeah.
We were built. My life was built on this other person. It was idolatrous. Repent. And that relationship dissolved. I'm seeking the Lord, and it was funny because when I was single in that era, I was repugnant to other humans.
Wow.
Like, I used to have game, and in this season, it was almost like the Lord's hand was on me. Like, no, you shall not date right now, because exactly what you were saying. He wanted me to separate
How long were you
myself.
single?
Like,
and without
almost
wanting to date? Or you just always wanted
not
to?
very long. I think it was about 3 days. No, probably not that long.
So you're like, I'm a Christian now.
No, but
I need
I
a Christian girl right away.
And I immediately stopped. Like, I knew right away as a young adult coming back to the Lord, I need to stop, like, fornicating and drinking. Like, a couple things that are just obvious. Just stop.
Did you say that to yourself? Fornicating?
I probably didn't.
Okay.
That's not how I said it.
Did you think like
Right,
that was
'cause
right.
Some people have this like they're living wrong, and then all of a sudden, boom, and they feel the love of the Lord, and they're like, oh, Jesus, and it's all about Jesus for. So
Yes.
was it like that?
Yeah,
for like,
I had that period, and then it was like, but I knew, okay, Lord, I'm one of those people that's supposed to get married, and I know that, and you have somebody. So here's my big question: does God have somebody for us, and should we be waiting for that? Like, what part's God's, what part's ours? Should I be out there? Because I still,
I feel like a
I
lot of
believe
people have
God
that question.
had Robin for me, but I still had to hit on her. Does that make sense?
Sure. I think we got to do the work. I mean, I don't know how much I support the one theory, but I don't think I support the 20 theory. You know what I'm saying? Or the 10 theory, maybe the 3 theory.
I'm lost.
In a sense, in terms
That
of
God has a special
that God
person
has one
selected for
person.
you, that one person, and it's your
Yeah.
soulmate.
Yeah, yeah.
You're supposed to be soaking it up in a hot tub.
Yeah, I mean, I do think he has 3 or 4. I don't think it's like 20 people out there
Right.
that are for you. But
Yeah, like,
again, with
are
my
you my
wife,
special someone?
right?
Are you
it's
my
like,
special someone?
because what happens
Yeah.
if something happens,
Yeah.
they die, then it's like, well, do I not get married again? Do I, God, what does this look like if I, so
Refund, replacement?
yeah, I'm like, does that mean now that I'm with this woman
That's a
that
great-
the one
yeah.
died, and then it's just like, well, no. So I still think, like my wife, I feel like if there was the one, I think she's it. You know what I'm saying?
I have a story.
Yes.
Give us a story.
So back in the past, I was every few years I opened my heart up again to dating. Right, every couple of years, 3 years or something. So
Ladies, we're getting close to the end of his cycle. Go
no,
ahead.
stop. But this girl came into my life, and I was like, I kind of liked her, and I was like, I don't know, Lord, and so I said, if I should like open my heart, maybe give me some signs, and it's just I saw all these cool signs, and we got together. Cool things were happening, and I just saw God everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow, I think he's doing something. I think he's speaking. And then, so I took that step, and I was like, hey, and we started dating. And then after a while, I started to realize that it wasn't a connection. And so I felt like the Lord was showing me, like, I can't choose for you.
Yes.
You have to choose,
You have to choose.
for yourself too. He can present someone to you, but like,
Yes.
I felt like he was saying, like, I'll help you, but you have to choose, And so
Okay, I feel like that's really different than what I hear a lot of Christian women saying. And those are really big topics right now because there's the whole idea of like the one, or like the one brother said, like the three, maybe there's 3 or 4 people who could be good for you. But then, like, what my dude from Corn is saying, whose name I can't remember in this exact second, that, God isn't going to just pick for you. Like, you have to do the work. That's really interesting. Does that mean that God doesn't have a best choice? Is that what his perspective is, that God doesn't have a best choice for us? Um but even if God did say this person is like the best match for you, you still have to do the work. I mean, I definitely can understand that part. I see my husband is like, I have thoughts. Um I'm like, I mean, nobody can hear you unless you come on live. You can definitely do that. But I mean, I feel like that's a huge topic. That's a huge topic. Huh. All right, let's see what he says next.
It was a learning curve right there, but I was too involved with the Lord. Is this the one that you picked for me
Yes,
since the
yes.
beginning of the
Okay.
world? You
I
knew,
definitely
you
think
know.
he approves.
You can
and
over
disapproves.
spiritualize
Yes,
that, right?
he taught me that I was over spiritualizing things.
Because I had somebody that they were struggling in their marriage, and the big thing was I just think this person wasn't God's will for my life, and I chose the wrong one, and I wasn't supposed to. And then it's like, well, how do you fix that?
Right.
If you said yes, I do, that's the one.
If you over spiritualize it and say God chose this one, something goes wrong later, and then who gets the blame?
Yeah,
You're
God.
blaming God,
Exactly.
and then you got a bad relationship with Jesus.
I like what you say.
or-
You think he might present those options to us and might help us meet those people.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think,
I
and
definitely think he
there's
does
not
that.
a lot through fasting and prayer that God. I don't think I've ever fasted and prayed about something and God hasn't moved in my life.
Sure.
So I would say if I'm single and I'm like really wanting to get married and I'm praying for that perfect person, I'm fasting and praying, and because God's going to show me a couple things during that. He's going to show me, what might be wrong with me, what might be driving people away from me. He might present some options. He might say, that's not my will for you. You know, like I actually have called you to be single. So I would say get serious about that. But then, no, I have a part to play as well.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think God, again, I think he approves and I think he disapproves. In terms of, I think there are people that he'll say that, and you'll feel it. He's like, I don't know right now. But this one could be great, and then this one could be great, and then he gives you the ability.
But he
to
knows
choose.
Yeah,
already. He could
right.
play the movie all the way to the end.
Right.
So that's what I kind of want is the roll credits. Does this path work or does this one
Yeah.
not work? But it was the same thing when I met Robin. I had that feeling that
Yeah.
she's the one.
Yeah.
She is, by the way, soulmate. Love you, baby. Okay, so but 20 years later,
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I remember asking all my friends, "What do you think, man?" Like, and I feel like God's already kind of said yes, but I'm still looking for all kinds of affirmation because
Yep.
there's still so many things that could go wrong in a relationship. Whether that was God's perfect, hey, I bumped you two together for a reason. I mean, we met in a bar in Southern California. Was that God? It's like, I want you in the bar and I want you in the bar right here. Probably not. but
God's everywhere, though.
yeah.
But I still
don't
think
know.
I
he
saw him at a
gives
corn
us-
show once. Crazy
On a
thing.
what?
Right?
I'll tell you later.
On a what?
A corn show. It's
Okay.
a band. It's a heavy metal band. It's wild.
No, but I think God still. I think at the end of the day, still gives us all the ability to choose.
Yeah.
Because if you choose the wrong one, I still think God can bless it and turn it into something.
Exactly. It's about your intentions and motivations and your
Yeah.
choices, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do I go ahead?
I think
Wait, he said God still gives us the ability to choose, because even if we choose the wrong one, if our intentions are right, I think God can still bless it. Pause, time out. I just want to, yes, yes, because this whole talk about did God choose the person? Does God choose the person? I believe God will absolutely share his will with you about everything that you ask him to speak on. But yo, that's it. Even if you didn't seek him, if you weren't even in that place at the time, but you guys have a good intention, God can still redeem and restore and bless that covenant and that marriage and make the end more beautiful than the beginning. Right? I'm just gonna go ahead and co-sign that piece too. That's really good.
I'm gonna backpedal a little bit. Because I've heard some miraculous stories too,
Sure.
where people were like, "Oh my gosh, I felt like I heard God's voice and said, 'This is your wife,' and they've had the most awesome like
Sure,
life together,
sure.
family ministry." So
Were they single when he said it?
yes,
Okay, good. That's because that is one of the things. Is sometimes, do I know it was God? Well, is it biblical? Does it match up
yeah.
with what?
Because I have a story right here. Lacey from the band Flyleaf. Have you heard of Flyleaf?
Yes.
Yes.
Haven't.
Yes.
Lead
you have.
singer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Flyleaf.
She's amazing. She's
Yeah,
incredible.
she's awesome. So
should
her
have her on the
husband
show.
was a
Okay.
her husband was a guitar tech or something for another band, and they were on tour together. She was the lead singer for the headlining band, and so they were just talking. Everybody was hanging out, and he had a dream twice that he was in bed in his dream, and he rolled over, and she said, "Hi, honey," or something like that, and he was like, "What?" And it was so real. And so this guy's like a roadie, you know. He's a guitar tech, and he's like, "That dream was so real, so weird." And he was like, "How I wouldn't be able to get with the singer, you know, like marry the singer." And so they, you know, the story goes that they're married now and they have 2 kids and everything. And
But
so,
I think what my single friends want to know is how did he go to her and say, "Hey, baby, I just had a dream, and the Lord showed you waking up next to me."
they just
That's
started,
what I'm
like,
saying.
everybody's
Hanging
hanging out.
Hanging out, right?
Everybody's hanging
Come on.
out
But he
after
had
the
that
show.
in his mind and in his
Yeah.
heart, like God. Yeah.
Everybody's hanging out, you know, after the show, and they just end up together talking.
So like group dating.
Yeah.
So he
think that's a good
wasn't
idea?
weird. Because you can't just say,
Yeah,
hey, God
depending on
said
the
you're my
person.
wife.
I think men lack confidence.
Yeah.
I think if there's one thing I would say about
Oh my
what we
gosh.
need in the church as it pertains to dating, I think we need
Oh my
confident
goodness.
men.
What? Okay. Seriously? Yes. Yes. 2 things. 1, just because he has a word that he has a dream that she's his wife, or you think God is telling you he's your husband, don't get weird. Do not get weird. Like, you can still just hang out after something or get some coffee and like pursue the natural course. Don't be like, God said you're my spouse, so bang, let me hit you on the head with this club and drag you home. That is crazy. And then people will leave because they think you're crazy. But what this brother is saying right now, men lack confidence. I'm very curious. So let's see.
Because here's the thing, when I look at you and when I look at you, I can already tell when you were getting ready to talk to Robin, there was a little bit of confidence there. I'm sure you weren't like,
I was nervous. I'm
you
gonna
were
be
nervous,
honest.
but were you still confident?
I was nervous, but I mustered up everything I had,
Yeah.
and that's what impressed her.
Exactly.
The nerve to even come up and make the
Yes.
joke. And
I think we have a lot of not confident Christian men.
And we should be confident in the Lord, because even if this isn't the one and we get rejected, we still have Him.
Yeah.
Our fallback
okay.
options are good. So
Yeah. I mean, we got to get used to rejection though as men, because I think we're, I don't want to use the word called, but we are the ones that are supposed to go first
yeah.
initially. And we have to be okay with, okay, it didn't
Wow.
work. Next.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. I declare part 2, because we've been talking. We're out of time, guys, and there's so much to say
Wow.
about this. Still more stories. I still have to clear up some things for my single friends. How do I meet somebody? What are the acceptable ways? What are some boundaries? How do I date? So thank you guys for tuning in to Real Talk. As always, we kick off the conversation, but then you keep it going. We're actually going to keep it going with a part 2. So we hope to see you back. God's crazy about you, and just keep it real. See you soon.
That was super fun. Okay. Okay, that was super fun. I appreciate it, Real Talk. Obviously, they have a part 2 coming out where these men or maybe some other men talk more about like that Christian male perspective on dating. So do let me know in the chat, should we check out the next roundtable of these men talking? I think I like the idea of having men talk about what this looks like from their perspective, and then having us sort of share and kind of react to it. And maybe what we need is to get some brothers who come onto the Future Wives Club and actually talk about it from their perspective more, because we're like one side of a two-sided coin here. But absolutely. And I see, in the comments, the men in Christ need confidence for sure. Yes, there is something. If there is a big takeaway, because we are almost at 6 o'clock, if there's a big takeaway from today, I would like to say, I do, commenting on what they said, I do believe that God is very involved in bringing people together that have given their life to him. I know my story, I know that it happens different ways and people have different journeys. And my story with my husband, full of signs, full of prophetic stuff, but also full of our choice, full of us deciding that we really trusted God, that we really believed this was something, and us taking conscious steps in that direction. So neither one of us says, God told me, so therefore you must. In fact, I found out that my husband believed God told him I was his wife because somebody in the barbershop heard him and then came and told me about it. And I was still freaked out, but less freaked out than I would have been if he had come to me thinking that that meant I was obligated to date him or marry him. So, for those of you who think you know who this person could be, who maybe you're even in a relationship with this person and you think you know that this is supposed to be your spouse, be normal. Don't be weird. Don't be weird. Maybe God's giving you words, you have scriptures and things. Okay, you take that with your confidant, your prayer partner, y'all pray about that. But don't be weird, because at the end of the day, you are still two human beings who are still perfectly capable of applying your decisions to help create your destiny. Yes, God is guiding you, but it's our choices that are shaping our destination. So we still have to communicate well, be good to people, be kind, show love, and build a relationship toward marriage. It's not going to come on its own. So, uh, that is my advice to you today. If you believe you know who the one is, please be normal about it. Don't be weird. Like, actually let them pursue. And if you believe you know who the one is and they're not pursuing you, maybe go to the Lord and say, okay, what do I do? Since they don't seem to see it the way that you revealed it to me, what should I be doing in the meantime? Um, that doesn't mean that you can't go to coffee with other people, right? It doesn't. It doesn't. All right, ladies and gents, it was really fun getting to see the perspectives of some other people. We might do more response videos. Um, Also, planning to get into some books in future sessions. Love and War was my second uh possible solution for tonight, beginning to get into one of these marriage books that are for marriages that are facing some turbulent times. This is actually the study guide, not the full book, but it has a video series, a study guide, a book. It's really good. We will be getting into some of these chapters as well. If you are married, you have married friends and they're experiencing a little turbulence and they've been vulnerable enough to share that with you, I would suggest Love and War by John and Stacey Eldridge. It's awesome. All right. Have a great Monday evening. I wish to you love, joy, and healthy relationships. Bye bye.